Hey there, Teacher Chelsea here. It's good to see you guys again. Today I wanted to come and share with you guys how I write feedback to parents after I get done teaching a class. So today we're going to be talking about how to write effective feedback. So I'm really excited to share what I find practical and what I find realistic when writing feedback, quick feedback, especially if you're teaching classes back to back. I'm only in my first 60 days at VIPKid, so this could change over time, but for right now, this is what's good, this is what works for me, and I want to share it with you guys. So as you know, there are two different types of feedback. Actually, there's three, really. Three. Okay, sorry. There's three. So, 3, 5. Okay, for real. I had notes that I was following a couple days ago when I said I was going to make this video, and I kept putting the video off, and now I can't find my notes, and I knew I had to record this video or it would never get done. So, I'm sorry if I ramble. Back on point. Okay, so there's 3 different types of classes that you can write feedback for, or 3 different types of feedback for classes. I'm not sure which one I'm trying to say, but I'll tell you what I mean. So you have trial classes where you give feedback to the parents. You have major course classes where you can give feedback to the parent, to the next teacher, or to the learning partner. And then you have unit assessments, which go along with major courses. And unit assessments, you give feedback to the parents about the assessment that their child took. So today I want to share what feedback looks like for me when I'm teaching a major class that is not a unit assessment and a class that is not a trial class. So for a major class, when you are done teaching that class and you click finish, there is what you have to do called feedback, and you will see the button for feedback. You have to give feedback. If you don't, well, you don't have to, but if you don't, there will be consequences. And I don't want to tell you the exact amount of hours because I may be wrong, so don't mark me on this. But I believe if you do not give feedback, like after 12 hours of teaching the class, 10 to 12 hours, then your pay is cut. So just do the feedback. It doesn't have to be extensive. It doesn't have to be super long. In fact, that's one of the tips that I'm going to give you, is that you don't want to make it super long. So feedback is what you give at the end of the class. You need to do it so that you can get paid. And that's the whole point. One of the reasons we love to teach is because we get paid. So make sure you do your feedback. Now, we're going to talk about how that feedback looks when you begin to do it. So when you log on, when you press the feedback button, you have 3 different boxes that you can leave feedback in. The first box is going to be to the parents. Only they will see it. You and the parents will see it. The second box will be to whoever's booked to teach the next class. So you can see it. Whoever teaches the next class can see it. And sometimes it's still up there that even 2 classes later, that teacher can see it. And then finally, you have feedback that you can give to the learning partners. And the learning partners are like the middleman between VIPKid, us as independent contractors with VIPKid, the parents who sign their students up. They're the middleman between us two. They communicate for us. And so learning partners can help parents book classes, do trial classes, sign up for VIPKid, communicate any projects, behavior issues, anything of that sort. That's what the learning partners are there to communicate. So they're not somebody that you would give feedback to every single class. It's only for important things. If you just can't communicate with parents, if you can't get little Johnny to participate in class, or if there's a major project that you really feel like the student needs to practice, those are the things that you would give to the learning partner. So I'm going to share how I write my feedback to the parents and how I try to do it efficiently and effectively. So after signing up with VIPKid, I started attending multiple workshops, and I had received 5-star apples so far, and so I thought, maybe I'll make a video that shares how to write feedback. So after attending the videos and learning some things of my own, this is what I like to do when I'm writing my feedback. Y'all, I keep kind of leaning this way because I really don't like that shiny glare on my background. So I'm like, Speaking of background, I added these little things. I put them up at top too, but I don't like my camera this high, so I'm probably going to take those down, and definitely need to change this because anyways, I have to make the video. Okay, so anyways, usually when I'm writing feedback to parents, it only takes me 5 minutes to write it. It doesn't take me that long with the format that I follow, and my feedback is usually only 6 lines long, 7 lines long. It's not very long, and so I'm going to give you the 6 steps that I like to do when I write feedback. And so I learned this from a workshop, so kudos to VIPKids and all those people who attend the VIPKid workshops. You can learn a lot of different things from different teachers. I strongly suggest that you attend them. So what I like to do for writing feedback is what I call, well, I guess it's not what I call it. It's what they call it in the workshop, the love letter. The love letter. I found it to be very effective when writing feedback. And in the love letter, there's 6 steps, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is start off with a warm greeting. You want to make your parent feel welcome to read the letter. You want them to be interested in reading the letter. You want to sound like you care. So, hello, it's good to talk to you. Or hi there, it's good to be able to share with you, or hello, I really had fun teaching little Johnny in class today. So you want to have a warm greeting, something that's going to grab their attention, like a hook. After you give that warm greeting, that's step 1. Step 2, you want to go ahead and introduce whatever the problem, the language problem is for that class period. So it could, for example, it could have been pronunciation. Maybe little Johnny was having a hard time pronouncing a word, or it could have been fluency. Maybe little Johnny needs to try to work on reading each word one behind the other so that it forms, a fluent sentence. Or maybe it was comprehension. Maybe little Johnny didn't understand what the story was about. And so you want to go ahead and tell the parent what it is that little Johnny needs to work on. And that's extremely important to the parent. Why? Because they're paying VIPKid, the independent contractors here, to teach their students, to teach their children. And they know that their children need to learn, and not everything's not going to be peachy keen all the time. So they want you to correct their child, because their expectation is for their child to grow and expand and learn and be able to speak English fluently. So that's probably extremely important to them. Don't sugarcoat stuff. Don't be in la la land with fluff feedback. Get to the point. Let them know, hey, this is what little Johnny needs to work on. So 1, start with a warm greeting. 2, go ahead and let them know what little Johnny needs to work on. 3, tell them how you want little Johnny to work on it. What do you want little Johnny to do? Well, I would like little Johnny to practice using these sight words in a sentence. That way, little Johnny can understand, comprehend the sight word, how to use it in context. And so that's what I would ask the parent to do. Practice these sight words with little Johnny. Please ask little Johnny to write these sight words in a sentence. So 1, I've given a warm greeting. 2, I've gone ahead and addressed the issue. 3, I told you how to practice working on the issue. And then 4, I want you to provide your rationale for it. Why is it that little Johnny needs to practice this? Why will this help? I think little Johnny should practice sight words because it will help him understand how to use these words in context. And so you explain why you think that little Johnny needs to practice it this way. So you have your warm greeting, you go ahead and address the problem, you tell the parents how little Johnny should practice working on that problem, then you explain your rationale for that problem, and then finally, 5th step, you leave your expectation for what you want to see the next class. And leaving your expectation lets them know, I want you to book with me. So I would say something like, I expect for little Johnny to be able to use these words in a sentence the next time I see him in class. Hint, hint, the next time I see him in class. Ding dong, get a booking, okay? So go ahead and let them know, I expect to see little Johnny again. And not only do I expect to see him again, but I expect to follow up with this homework or enrichment time that I asked little Johnny to complete. Finally, step 6, which is you're saying goodbye. I leave a PS, and I actually really like PSs. In fact, I like PSSs even, because this gives me an opportunity to say something to little Johnny. This gives me an opportunity to say something else to the parents that doesn't necessarily have to be about class or about it could just be my little fun twist. So for me, I typically like to leave the PS to the student. I like to remind them like, hey, I can't wait to see you in class next time, because I look forward to reading your sentences that you create. Or sometimes if depending on the reward I did in that class, I might say, little Johnny, I can't wait to see you again in class so I can beat you at tic-tac-toe. Something like that makes it personal. That makes that student super excited to want to come and see you again. When the student is excited and the student is learning and they're growing, then the parents are more likely to book you, because if they have a nagging child standing right beside them like, I want to take Teacher Chelsea's class, I want to be in Teacher Chelsea's class, I love that class, I'm learning, the parents are going to be more willing to book you as a teacher if their child's going on and on and on. Or at least that's how I am. If my kids are like, Mom, I want this, please, 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 and they're persistent about it, then typically I know that's something that they really love, and I try to work those things into their lives, because if it makes them happy, it makes me happy, and if it's not hurting them and it's only helping them, then why not? So that would be the rationale, I think, for most people. And if it's not, I'm sorry. But for me, that's my rationale. So for leaving effective feedback, there's 6 steps. You want to first give a warm greeting. Second, go ahead and address the problem. They're not going to be offended. Third, tell them how to work on the problem. What can they do to fix the problem? 5, give your rationale for it. Why should they do it this way? 6, leave your expectation of checking on them again, seeing that student in class again. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did something wrong there. But 6, leave your PS, say goodbye, and when you do that, make sure you sign your name off. Some people don't, but I just like to leave my stamp for people to know who I am. Teacher Chelsea. I find it more personable when the student's able to call me by my name, or the parents know me by name. It just builds rapport. And so sign your name. It shows who you are, and it just says, hey, this is me, Teacher Chelsea. So anyways, thank you guys so much for letting me share this video. I hope it helps you out on what to do when you're writing feedback. A formula that you could follow, something that I like to do, and so far I've received all 5 apples, so that's really awesome. And also, when you're leaving feedback, that's something that it's been controversial that I've heard. Culturally, from taking the workshops and the cultural awareness classes, I've learned that asking for 5 apples may be a little rude. The tipping system is not something that they typically do in the Asian culture, in their culture. So some people don't ask for feedback. I personally, though, I do. I ask for feedback, and I do it in different ways. Sometimes I have straightforward say, if you enjoyed the class that your child was in or attended, could you please leave me 5 apples? Or sometimes I've been a little bit more subtle, and I've said things like, if your student enjoyed class today, please leave me some feedback on what I can continue to do or how I can improve to help your child, something like that. So I personally, I ask, have lived on the philosophy a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So sometimes people can't read your mind and they don't always know. So if you want them to do something, then ask them to do it. And so I ask. But it's up to you. It's what you like to do. Either way, leave a comment below. Tell me what it is that you like to do. Do you think it's appropriate? Do you not? Tell me what you think. And let me know if this video helped you. Let me know what other information you want to hear about. You can email me at teacherchelseagu, G-U, not D-U, teacherchelseagu at gmail.com, or you can put my referral code in for VIPKid if you want help with the hiring process. That referral code is CHELS0621, and you can just shoot me an email if you have any questions or need help with anything. I don't mind helping. And again, it was so good to see you, and see you next time.